Okay, I'm going to explain Phing, which is a build system for WordPress that is built in PHP, so it should run on anything that has PHP and Phing included in it. It's not as feature rich as the WordPress or the WP CLI, which is also on GitHub, which has tons of more features for working with WordPress from the command line. But this does something just really simple and really quickly, and that is installing. If you want to install WordPress on your local environments, really, that's all it basically does at this moment, but it does it quickly. So we'll go through an example. This is just the index on my local. The reason I built this was because even though WordPress has the 5-minute install, I found it really tedious to always keep installing things, and I found my environment getting really cluttered with code and plugins and stuff. So here's the build script. It's a PHP script. Typically, you only have to change 3 parameters for each new build, and it builds it in about 30 seconds instead of 5 minutes. And you don't really have to do much. So the first thing in the build properties is we set our directory. For this, I'll just use an example. I'll call it A plus. Then we create the database. I usually just use the same names. And then, of course, actually you don't have to set the actual URL. You could set it afterwards, but it's always a good idea to sort of use the same names. So those are the only 3 parameters you have to change to run the build script. And so in the command line, you just type Phing install, and it'll run through the build. While it's, oh, we got a error. So you can see here there's an error because it's saying that this, oh, yeah, I didn't save it. That would be a good idea. So we'll just run the install again. While it's building it, the other parameters in the script are basically here's your database information for your local. You could set the user ID, pass the host. Here's the login info for your WordPress. Usually you set this during the WordPress like install script thing. The download here it's installing plugins. It only takes zip formats now. They could be from any URL, but these are on WordPress. There's a debug bar and WordPress SEO. You could change the prefix on the database. You could set some debug options here, and you could even append another file for different configs here as well. I don't really change any of this stuff when I just build new installs. I just change these 3 parameters, and it's very quick. So the build works. Here you can see it went through it, but it built it in 42 seconds. It depends on your connection speed. It could build it a lot faster if you're on a faster connection. So if we refresh here, we'll see that it created a new directory called A+, and our site's live. You could log in. There are some errors here because I'm on Windows, and there's some weird permission errors with Windows and XAMPP. One thing to note too is that the build script removes some things that I didn't want. You could see them in the build file here. It removes the Hello Dolly plugin. It removes the default Hello World post and the sample page post. That's why if you go to the front page, you saw that it said nothing found. There's no post in default install. What else does it do? Oh yeah, it removes all the links, those default links, and it removes that Mr. WordPress comment. So if you go to the links, you'll see that there's nothing in here. There's no comments. But you have a fully working site that built it in, the time it takes pretty much to download WordPress. And that's about it. I have not tested it on Linux or Mac though, so just take note that when you're using the path here to remove the D and set it at the correct path, and also if you have your password and your SQL's data has to be set here. And that's it.